We've known for quite a while that Borderlands 3 is in development, and I think at every single E3 or PAX event in the last few years, players have waited with bated breath for Gearbox to finally announce the follow-up to what is one of the best games of the last console generation. The looter shooter genre has blown up in recent years, and the big daddy of the genre needs to come back with a bang to show everyone who's boss. And now, finally, we think we're about to get an official announcement from Gearbox. A few days ago on the Gearbox Twitter account, this picture was dropped, leading pretty much every person on the internet to assume Borderlands 3 will be announced at PAX East on March 28th. With this announcement coming very soon, I want to give my take on 5 features we need to see in Borderlands 3. At the end of Borderlands 2, our Vault Hunters opened the Vault of the Warrior to reveal a galaxy map littered with vaults across multiple planets. This hopefully foreshadows the very real possibility we'll be finally leaving the desolate wastes of Pandora and venturing out into the unknown, hopefully to several different and entirely new worlds. If this is the case, I'd love to see Gearbox take some chances to give us some new and exciting biomes to adventure across with 3 friends. From some leaks we've seen, at least some of the game will take place on Pandora, but it would be awesome to see some more of the galaxy and tackle new creatures on different planets. Some lush forested areas would be a pleasant change from the endless deserts of Pandora, and some alien structures or more opulent cities and settlements could really give the already colourful theme of Borderlands even more colour. Drop a comment below about what kind of crazy Borderlands worlds you'd like to see. If this storyline is to be correct, the chance to have a spaceship as a home base would add a lot of opportunity for players to get quests from returning characters, with people joining the fight like Lilith, Maya, Mordecai, and of course Claptrap. With the Sirens on board, you would assume they'd be perfect to bring along for the journey, and hopefully an armory and a place to equip different skins and outfits, this ship could act as your home away from home as you travel the galaxy. And speaking of Sirens. Now, I might be a little biased being that both Lilith and Maya were definitely my go-to characters in both Borderlands 1 and 2 respectively, but I think Gearbox needs to include another Siren in Borderlands 3 as a playable character. I think at this point it's pretty much confirmed, as in the leaked character artwork, the only missing piece of the puzzle appears to have a glowing hand signifying the tattoos found on all Sirens. Also, leaks have hinted that this time our Siren could be a melee-focused character, I assume along the lines of the position that both Brick and Zero took in the previous games. The ability to equip different swords or other melee weapons as your main skill trees, coupled with who knows what kind of crazy special attack, would make the Siren another character I'd be drawn to instantly. The lore in Borderlands states that only 6 Sirens can exist at any one time. However, what isn't known is if they get their powers at birth, or if their powers can be transferred after the death of another. Lilith and Maya are both still alive, but Angel sadly died in Borderlands 2, as well as Commandant Steele in the original game. But then there's Asher, who makes an appearance in the comics. Will we see Asher make her game debut in Borderlands 3, or is the final piece of the leaked puzzle being kept from us for more exciting reasons? Borderlands 2 greatly increased the quality of storytelling from its predecessor, in part due to the absolutely awesome and villainous Handsome Jack. This time round, we know Jack is dead, but Gearbox have to go all out in making their next villain and antagonist as memorable as the last. Handsome Jack was smart and calculating, caused absolute chaos, and even killed 2 beloved characters, Roland and Bloodwing. He was always one step in front of the Vault Hunters in Borderlands 2, and despite it having some issues and not being to the level of the numbered games, we learned a lot about him in the pre-sequel, which really added to the lore surrounding this character. Gearbox needs to up the ante with their next villain, and if the Vault Hunters are travelling across the galaxy in search of different vaults, is there a possibility of multiple antagonists? There's a lot to speculate here, but leave a comment below what kind of villain you'd like to see in Borderlands 3. Borderlands 1 and 2 pretty much birthed the looter-shooter genre, a genre which has now exploded in the time since the second game's release. Destiny, The Division, Warframe, Anthem, these games all owe at least something to Gearbox's franchise, but in my opinion, Gearbox have done it better. But in the climate of gaming in 2019, I personally don't want to see Gearbox fall into the traps of an always online persistent world. Borderlands has always been about co-op gameplay, but you can still experience the game completely single player. I for one played both the first and second titles single player in my first run-throughs, only then completing the subsequent Ultimate Vault Hunter difficulties with friends for the ultimate challenge. I think it would be a breath of fresh air for Gearbox to offer this game without the requirement of always online connectivity. We've seen too many issues over the years regarding server load, downtime and connectivity issues that having Borderlands 3 still as a co-op drop-in drop-out experience with the option of single player action would be much more exciting for many players. This could be a big ask due to the place that the industry is at right now, but I think it would do wonders for making Borderlands the biggest success it could possibly be. Alright, so this might seem absolutely insane, being that Borderlands 1 and 2 literally have an unending amount of weaponry at players' disposal. But I hope that in Borderlands 3 this is expanded on even further. Slag weaponry made its debut in Borderlands 2, but even though I thought they could be handy occasionally in battle, most of the player base didn't really like their new functionality. We can assume then that these probably won't make a return in the next game. I'd love to see Gearbox create some new weapon manufacturers that may be specifically tied to the different planets they can be found on, with different features that add to the already impressive roster of brands available in the previous games. I also hope that the loot game is stepped up another notch, if that's even possible at this point, because the satisfaction of having one of those orange legendary weapons pop was some of the best parts of the last games, and gives more and more reason to slay every ridiculous boss and monster in the game. Gearbox need to make sure that players are heavily rewarded for completing missions and dungeon-style bosses like in the previous titles, and in the current landscape of looter shooters, players want loot the most. The issues with Anthem right now could be massively mitigated by an increase in loot drops and more weapon choice. I hope Gearbox nails this, and I do have faith that they will, because Borderlands 1 and 2 can take a lot of the credit for the explosion of the looter shooter genre, and I hope they can take the crown once again. But what about you? Are you excited for the announcement on March 28th? Will we leave Pandora once and for all and chase vaults across the galaxy? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a comment of your top 5 features you want to see in the upcoming Borderlands. Don't forget to like this video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all things Direckt Gaming. You can follow me on Twitter @Direckt Gaming as well, and thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.